change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome along to Season 1, Round number 7. It's the Indy SuperSprint. Oh yes, Indianapolis will see the drivers dueling out in the penultimate round before we head to Imola. Whole lot of racing to get done before then. My name is John Wright, aka Double O Raven. Joining me in the commentary box once again is the man, the myth, the moustache. This is Mr. Isaac Fogarty. Good evening, Isaac. How are we doing today?
Good evening, John. Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here and very excited for what's going to be an amazing evening of racing here at Indianapolis.
It is. The Super Sprint format is back to 30-minute races, 10 minutes of qualification per race. We have got one, Mr. Matt Donetti, the force to be reckoned with, out on track already with Simon Bishop. And we are very much looking forward to see what these two do out on track. Of course, we're brought to you by TrackSpotTV. We've got George Cook lurking away in the chat as well, so do feel free to throw any questions you have his way. He is more than happy to get those answered while we bring you all of the action. We have an absolutely jam-packed grid with us this evening. We've got wildcards, we've got the pros, we've got the pro-ams, and we've got the arms, and we've also got Mr. Isaac Fogarty. Isaac, has been a phenomenal season so far, and Indianapolis is a track that really does lend itself to some serious action.
It indeed certainly does. John, we've had 6 amazing rounds so far with action aplenty no matter where we've gone, and now we find ourselves here at Indianapolis, and we've been watching throughout the week. I have certainly been watching throughout the week a couple other leagues that have made their way to the Indy road course this week with plenty of action up and down those series, and if that's anything to go by, then I'm certainly excited for what we're going to see tonight, because most of those guys usually find their way into the AGT category. So I'm very excited for what's going to unfold here at Indianapolis, and then obviously for round 8 we will head to Imola finale. But there's a lot of storylines that we're following tonight, and a lot of questions still to be answered with this being the penultimate round.
As you say, the penultimate round, I did unfortunately miss last week's race, which was of course the Belgian face-off. It is the one that I had preloaded. It's decided to change itself. In the pros though, it was Simon Bishop taking the top spot with Nick Carter in second place. James Machin bringing home third. In the Pro-Ams, there is Dernetti there. How he is in the Pro-Ams, I mean, he's got a free pass there in my opinion. He'll be pro next year. Dan Crawley taking second, and Riley Nicholson taking home third place. And in the AMS, it was Porsche GT atop the timing boards. Clayton Twinning in second place, and Georgi Takacs, not even close to pronouncing your name correctly there, my good man. Please feel free to stick a pronunciation in the chat. That is... Okay, yep, just having a couple of audio issues that we are dealing with as well. While I sort them, actually, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the standings, Isaac? If I can bring them up.
It would be my absolute pleasure to do that, John. If we have a look at our overall standings at the moment, Simon Bishop leads the way by 214 points over Nick Carter. So there's a very real possibility that Simon Bishop can wrap up that overall championship today if he keeps it clean. This is actually the standings back to round 5. So we're looking at a little bit of a closer gap. Actually, I'll have a look. We'll get the standings up for you right now. So if I'm looking at our standings following round 6, it's actually a 236-point gap back to Nick Carter with Simon Bishop. So if Simon Bishop can perform well today, he can wrap up that overall championship. He can also wrap up the Pro Championship today as well. So he is in a really good spot to be wrapping that up, and it looks like we have cars on track for qualifying now. It's only a 10-minute qualifying today, John, so getting a lap time in early is crucial because track position is going to mean everything around here.
It is. It's going to be absolutely vital around this Indianapolis circuit. Not sure why we've got those standards. We'll get those fixed between the races. 2.5 miles or 4 kilometres long. This one, of course, built way back in 1909, long before I was born, despite the rumours that you might hear amongst some people. I'm old, but I'm not quite that old. Of course, this part of the track not introduced until the 1960s, when it became one of the most popular road courses on the planet. It has a whole lot of turns, not a lot in the way of elevation, certainly, Isaac, but those that outer banking that the drivers get to spend a little bit of time on, it really does see this track get some high speed, and that infield section as well. Some interesting opportunities for the drivers to get overtakes done.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the circuit, that back straight running down towards turn 8, there's a really good opportunity for drivers to get a move done in there if they're brave, but it's a very deceiving circuit. I've done laps around here this week for another series that I'm competing in, and it's, yeah, you look at where Matt Donetti's going through now. That looks like it's a flat corner. You'd think it's very easy to navigate your way through, but the Americans have done a good job at making this look scarier than it is. Massive bump there for Matt Donetti through the turn 5, that he's going through turn 6 now. And this section is very, very tricky. You've got to make sure the car is rotated in just the right way because, as you said, it's very flat, but this infield section, it can bite. And I know there's a lot of guys yesterday and throughout practice today that was struggling to get rotation in this mid-sector, and that's where the lap time's going to come from. But where Matt is now, this is setting yourself up to go back onto the banking. And there's a lot of turning time around here, very high load on the tyres. A lot of drivers struggling with the... I believe it's the left front tyre getting quite overheated, and running up onto this banking certainly won't help that because of the increased load the tyre is going to feel. But they're all doing a pretty good job so far, and in this qualifying session, it is in fact the man on your screen, Matt Donetti, leading the way so far over James Machin and Matt Simmons. Simon Bishop, 1.8 seconds off the pace at the moment, John, but I don't think it's going to stay that way for too long. I don't expect him to stay all the way down there.
Yeah, no, I expect that gap will massively close. This is one of these tracks where the drivers can definitely keep it close to one another in the timings. You can see they're only a tenth and a half. Oh, sorry, 3 tenths between Machin and Dernetti. In fact, all the way down the grid. We've got Stewart down there, 10 seconds down. We'll definitely see quicker times Twining is in the pits with 4 minutes to go. That could be a problem. Tikak's coming around the last corner, or just coming into the final couple of corners. We'll see if he can. That one always throws me off. It looks so much like the last corners to come into the last chicane. With Tikak's, Boyd and King all needing to get time set. I mean, a 10-minute qualifying session, it does sound like a lot of time, but when you've got your out lap and then your flying lap, that is half the qualifying session done and dusted.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly right. It's such a quick lap, but it's such a quick session as well. So they've got to make sure that they really nail that lap, because you might only get one. It's really easy to invalidate the lap around here as well. Slightly wide on the final corner even will invalidate your lap, and there's all your hard work in just one lap gone already. So these guys want to make sure that they nail this session really, because it's going to be hard to move forward. There's minimal overtaking opportunities around here, and I'm just having a look at the moment at any drivers that might be up. Simon Bishop's improving by about half a second currently, but that seems to be the major improvement right now. He sits 4th at the moment in the standings, and he's coming through the final section. There he's on our screen, coming through the final section of the corners now, through the final corner. Running slightly wide here, can invalidate your lap, but he keeps that one nice and clean as he come across the line. Where's that going to put him? Going to put him to 2nd place. So that is very close, actually, within a 10th of Matt Donetti. So the pressure now jumps back to Matt Donetti to see what time he can do to hold on to that pole position. His first pole position, it would be in AGT if he can pull it off. Not to put the commentator's curse on him, but that would be his first pole position if he could pull it off. Speaking of people that are doing a great job at the moment, John, Will Morgan down in 3rd place, making his debut for Adrenaline GT today, and certainly not his first rodeo in the sim racing world. He's done a lot of running in the Oz NZ Endurance Series, but this is his first foray into the AGT world tonight, and he's doing a great job so far, sitting in 3rd place.
Yeah, sitting in 3rd at the moment. No mean feat in this field. As you mentioned, some of the bigger qualifying competitions taking place this weekend. No surprise Donetti was up near the top. Him and Bishop, look, what a battle this is. I'm so excited for this race. Less than a 10th separate Bishop and Donetti. Now that could be a phrase we will use the entirety of the race. It has been spoken here before, and I do expect it will be again. They've got a 3/10 gap back to Morgan. Morgan's time almost identical with Machin and Simmons, trying not to be forgotten in that Mercedes. And to be fair, that is an absolutely mighty time that Simmons has got in already with that Mercedes. That is no mean feat. Donetti in the Aston, excel in the Aston as well. The quickest Ferrari is Silver, down in 7th position, and any talks of Meta McLarens on ACC, I think not, baby puppy, as Gordon currently in 11th position. The lead Porsche, that belongs to Burrows. A little bit of silence here as we'll listen to that ridiculously phenomenal sounding engine. Pity we can't get chase camera here. Slight limitation on the cameras this week, so we will be sticking in this particular one. Hopefully we do still get to see all the sights and sounds. But again, Isaac, we've got a solid mix of talent on the grid and a nice little mix of cars. That is 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. That is what we'll love to see in motorsport.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just shows how well the LFM balance of power works in this series for these cars. You know, there's a lot of talk about, you know, the BMW and the Mustang are what they call the meta cars, but these guys are doing a really good job of pushing these cars to their absolute limits, and it's great to see 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. Speaking of guys doing well, Matt Donetti is up on his best time at the moment. I believe he's still first, and he looks like he's going to extend that lead out a little bit over Simon Bishop, who you can see on your screens at the moment. Donetti crosses the line, and he jumps to 3/10 clear of Simon Bishop. We'll have a look where Simon Bishop is. This is the man that can unseat him for pole. He's a 10th down at the moment. In the first sector coming down towards turn 8. This is a very heavy braking zone. If you get it slightly wrong, the car will carry way too much speed and you'll set yourself up to go through this next set of corners all wrong. So car positioning here is very important, and he's doing a really good job so far. This man has got a lot of experience, but his lap is invalidated. He used too much curb there and invalidated his lap, which means that's it for Simon Bishop. Will Morgan jumps up to 4th place on the buzzer, so gets in right on the word go. And that is it for qualifying, John. There you go. That is it. There is our results.
Indeed, yeah, just like that, everyone is back into the pits. Oh, let's talk about it being close, ladies and gentlemen, race fans, young and old. They've equalled one another in Sector 1, 31.087. That is quite frankly ridiculous. I think what even lends to the ridiculousness is the fact that for the other 2 sectors, Dernetti has managed to find 3/10 on Bishop. Let's just let that sink in for a minute. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So Dernetti leads the way from the Pro-Ams. Yep, he's got himself a free championship there. Oh no. Oh, panic station set in. I thought I'd hit the wrong button there. We do love the fluid, intuitive UI that Kunos have gifted the console players. Said no one ever. Bishop leading the way in the pros. Machin, Morgan and Simmons will follow him along. Excel in the arms. What a showing from the arm driver. Up in 6th position overall and got 6 cars between himself and the nearest arm. Silver is currently in 2nd for the Pro Arms, with King in 2nd for the Arms and 13th. He's ahead of the rest of the Silvers as well. Gordon in 3rd for the Silvers. Crawley in 4th. Shepherd's down in 16th position. That's an interesting position, Isaac, for Shepherd's in the Ferrari. We know the Ferraris are going to struggle around here against some of these more top-end heavy cars. But certainly Shepherd's, he's got his work cut out for him. That is a lot of Pro Arms. And Arms, he's got ahead of him on the start line. It's going to be an interesting run off the line for him.
Yeah, absolutely. But the big ticket item for me there is Dan Crawley is down in 15th. The man who was leading the way in the Pro Championship is 15th. I'm just noticing, if I look on the screen, that they're expected to do a mandatory stop, which is not correct. So panic stations are now setting in for myself, as they're not expected to do a mandatory stop, but it says that they have to. So please stand by while we work to resolve that issue. I'll hand over to you for a minute, John.
Yeah, no problem at all. What we'll do is, I actually had too many images loaded, but we can look at the actual standings. There we go. So this is the updated standings, while the admins have a quick look at the minor faux pas in server programming. We will check out the standings, and it's Simon Bishop, as we can see, comfortably atop of the overall table. But we don't really care about that. Let's have a look at the actual splits themselves. That's the teams. And there is the splits. As you can see, it is Simon Bishop and Kay Carter that are comfortably leading the way at the moment. Dan Crawley leading the way in the Pro Arms. Dernetti is in 3rd. He's got 3 races left, 2:30 minutes tonight, and of course the final round as well, to try and get himself to the top of the Pro-Ams before he is fully promoted to the Pros next season. I think we are maybe doing a quick bit of a server restart, so while we get that up and running, we'll focus on the arms, if I can get my wires to reach. There we go. And in the arms, we've had a bit of an issue there. Error report submitted. Bear with us a second. We will be right back.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. I wish that I could change what you wanted. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down.
Welcome back, folks. Apologies interrupting that absolute banger tune that opens the show. I do love sitting listening to that. We did have a bit of a faux pas on the server side of things. Technology is a broadcaster's best friend. Said no one ever. We're here for Indianapolis tonight. We've got Isaac furiously working away in the background. They're going to redo the entry list. We will have a server with a 1 minute practice session. Of course, the qualifying results have been maintained. So Isaac's fast fingers furiously working away to get the drivers in the correct order. Once they're back out on track, as I say, we'll have a 1 minute practice session, and then we will be in to race number 1 from round number 7. We've got 1 round left to go at Imola. It's been an incredible calendar so far. We've had Spa, we've had the Nürburgring, we've had Zandvoort. What a track Zandvoort is. Doesn't get anywhere near the love it should. And then, of course, we had Suzuka, the Texas Showdown. We had Zolder as well, another one of my all-time favourites, in Indianapolis tonight. And if you thought that calendar was good, get yourself over to the AGT Discord and check out the calendar for Season 2. Sign-ups are absolutely still available, so make sure to get yourself involved with Season 2. This has been an absolute barn burner of a season so far, and cannot wait not only to get my teeth stuck into the final 2 rounds of this. There is the server indeed back live again, as I quickly do this, and we'll pop this one in as well, and we'll have Isaac back in a few moments as well. Now that he's got his second hat on for a moment, straight back into admin duties, and then straight back into there is absolutely no end to this man's talent. I've heard he's actually quicker than Matt Dernetti. He just doesn't race to give the rest of the drivers a chance. So we'll get him to confirm that in the chat when he comes back in. Another driver completely thrown under the bus. We do seem to have some completely different names on screen. Now, can I change that? Right, okay. There we go. Yep, so they're actually appearing as their console names for this one. Because it wasn't a forced entry list, oh, we've got someone just teleporting back and forward to the pits, but we can see OzXL there up in 6th position again, leading the way for the for the ARMS. An absolutely phenomenal performance. Stone Harbour down in 16th. And we will get the names back on screen before the next race, which is good stuff. We'll get a quick look. We can confirm there are cars now out on track. There we go. Excellent. And we can bring in the man himself, who's joining us. We were doubling up on game audio. But there we go. Isaac, man of many talents. Motor racing, whether it's real or sim. They do like to throw organisers under the bus. That is your first experience here. But nicely handled. Very quick turnaround. And the cars back out on track and we're good to go.
We certainly are. You'll be seeing a few different names on screen now. That's just because we had to do a little bit of movie magic to get the grid set for this race, but never fear, as you mentioned earlier, John, the names will be back for race 2. So I am happy to help out. If anyone needs to know who someone is, I'm happy to tell you. I should know them all by now. I've looked at their names on Discord and on the streams enough, but we're all locked in and good to go now, and we're starting the formation lap. So we are good to go. You can see Simon Bishop is rolling away at the moment off the starting grid. Matt Donetti obviously sitting on pole for this race, and he is probably very nervous. Let's have a look at our track map now, and we are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for this race. I'll hand over to you, John, to take us through the circuit.
Yes, indeed. I was actually going to jump back in. I've been kicked out of the server. I'm going to have to make a few changes. But as you can see, not many named corners around this one. Just complete laziness. But after designing a track like this, they were probably all worn out. But there is quite a few turns and a couple of trips onto the bank. And, of course, out of turn number 10, the drivers really get to unleash those accelerators before the heaviest braking zone at turn number 13. And then, of course, out of turn 15 and on to the start-finish straight, the drivers are on their warm-up lap. I am just going to jump back in. Again, the overly intuitive UI that we are treated to on console. Absolutely beggars belief. Kunos, please reverse update 1.8.5.3. Thank you very much. Give us back control. Oh, car's sliding all over the place, actually, on screen. And for some reason, I've got even less control of the cameras now.
The good old technical difficulties issue is running rampant at the moment. I can confirm no one has started the race yet. We're still making our way through the formation lap with Matt Donetti leading the way at the moment. So we are almost ready to go in this one. You can see there he is, Simon Bishop as well. We'll be looking to make a move into turn 1. Matt Donetti famously not great at making it through turn 1 alive. He always finds a way to be a magnet for someone's front bumper. So hopefully he can do that today and make his way cleanly through turn 1.
Yeah, we might need to do a bit of trickery once the race starts taking camera control. If I hit drive at the moment, we won't get back to this menu, and we can't change cameras. So we will try and catch as much action as we can from this angle, and then once the drivers have actually started the race, we'll see about getting ourselves back to helicam. I hate the way it does that. It just jumps back to the drive button. You think you're going to be able to change to another driver, and it just throws you clean under the bus and puts you back on the drive menu. So we'll be in chase cam on the Bentley for the start. And then once we've got a few overtakes under our belt, we will see about getting back to where we need to be. But here we go, 30 minutes of sprinting at the 35-degree track. The tyres are going to be feeling it, and there is the green lights, his foot down. And the Bentley's got an absolute flyer. What a position to be on. He's gone round the outside of the top 2-3 drivers. He's absolutely taking the lead as Matt in the Mercedes is watching us go on. The Bentley's round the outside. Oh, there's a big touch. The Mustang is down. Machen is down. He's lost huge positions there. The other two have survived. Willstar has survived in the Bentley, and it's them in the Aston Martin up at the top. Sidog, let's see if we can actually get some better camera angles now. No, apparently not. But what a start that was, Isaac, by the Bentley driver. He goes completely around the outside of everyone and takes himself the lead in the race.
Yep, absolutely. He has just jumped everybody at the start and come out of nowhere. That Bentley was very quick off the line. And you can see now that Matt Simmons is looking up the inside as we head into turn 8. Matt Donetti just wanted to get through the first few corners cleanly, and he's done exactly that. He stayed out of trouble, maybe a little bit of contact with a binning Machen after contact with the Bentley at turn 1, but he's running away now. These top 3, they're starting to pull away from the rest of the pack. A great start from Al Dusty, who finds himself up into 7th place, or 6th place now already, as the grid starts to sort of sort themselves out. We've got a few cars that are down the field, so maybe a bit of contact. Oh, that was horrendous. That was absolutely horrendous. That is the wildcard entry of Aaron Thomas facing the wrong way, and that is down. He's doing donuts now. I believe that's down at turn 13.
That's 13. That is turn 13. Aaron Thomas, oh, absolutely flopping about. Oh, and there's another car completely stationary there as well. Wow, a couple of cars stationary. Heartstopper.
That is.
It does seem it's XL. It is XL.
Yes, XL had to start
from the top lane. Oh, did he have to start from the lanes, Isaac?
He had a glitch. He could not control the car and had to return to the lane. He was expressing some very much frustration, but he's been encouraged by his team boss to push on for this one, and that's exactly what he's doing. So very frustrating. That's a common glitch with this game, where the menu will freeze and you're not able to control anything. I've had that before myself. It's especially annoying when, like XL, you could qualify well. He was P6 on the grid, and he will not be happy, but there's a lot of still, it's only half an hour, but there's still a lot of time to go in this race. So he'll put his head down, try and make up some places. He's certainly very quick around here. So a long way to go in this race for these guys. But yeah, very frustrating for the wildcard entry of Aaron Thomas in the 111 Mustang. But they're doing a great job at the front at the moment. Willstar leading the way with Matt Zanetti right in behind Simon Bishop at the moment, and that is James Machen on the screen, who had that early spin. He is now trying to find his way back. There's a car going slowly. I believe that's Porsche GT. Porsche GT, he's had a few troubles in that sector through turn 11 throughout the weekend, and I think that's just, he's sort of had the same issue yet again through that turn, and that puts him down behind these guys into 18th now. So our AM class leader, it's showing his pro-am on the screen, but I can confirm he is the AM class leader in the championship, having a few struggles here, a few struggles for a few of the AM guys actually early on in this one. So the classes for some of these drivers not quite right, but actually I would argue for Matt Donetti, it is incredibly right, because it's showing him as a pro driver, and that's what he should be, John.
Yep, agreed with that. Absolutely agreed with that. He is definitely a pro driver, given these qualification exploits at the start of the weekend. It's no surprise to see him running where he is at the minute. We've got a close group of pro drivers here, 8th through 11th. Bit of a phase in and out of the server there for Nimal XM. I have to admit, I am going to be guessing a lot of these drivers, because it is my first experience with their gamer tags, but I do have Isaac here to keep me right. Willstar up at the front, he's absolutely keeping himself. Oh, the Aston! Oh, that is not the way. That is not the way through turns 10 and 11, that is for sure. Mint Matt will be thinking to himself, Mint mate, and he'll be closing up that gap to less than 0.6 of a second. Will start in the Bentley. I know there's still a lot going on, Isaac, but let's talk about Willstar's start. Started from 4th place, absolute full Geronimo round the outside, and despite taking the contact, held on to the car. And that Bentley, he's already got himself a 1.3 second gap over the rest of the field after only 3 laps. That's over half a second a lap. He is creating on the rest of the field in the Bentley. That is an extremely promising start, and he will be beside himself with happiness and concentration right now, trying to bring home the race win here.
Yeah, he'll just be head down now. This is his first race in AGT, as we mentioned earlier. This is his debut, and minus 12 kilos of ballast in that Bentley, so he'll be pushing really hard to try and get away from those guys behind him. Might have to put some more weight in that Bentley for the finale at Imola if this keeps up. But he's doing a great job. Another person that's doing a great job. Oh, a bit of contact there with Machen, and I believe that was LJ. A little bit of front to rear panel contact between those two there as Machen's trying to get his way back up through the field to make up for that contact at the start. He had a really good start off the line and was positioned himself in second coming through the first corner. So he'll be looking to get him back well inside the top 10. He's fighting for third in the championship overall at the moment as well, and in the Pro Series. And yeah, he's got Viper Z, who is currently in 9th place. That's L Tame. Liam Tame is his chief rival for that 3rd spot in both championships. So he's got to keep one eye on the guys ahead, but also one eye on the cars around him, and there's a lot going on. Shout out to Josh Gordon, who is currently in P10 as well. This is his debut in AGT, and he's doing an absolutely ripper job so far. So the two guys on debut for AGT, both inside the top 10, one leading the race, one in 10th place for McLaren Motorsport. And we know that George Cook, our Trackstar boss, is watching along, and we know he's a big fan of the McLaren, so we've got to give a shout out to the McLaren boys doing a great job so far and finding themselves inside the top 10, so that's just wonderful.
A Ferrari fan, I would have to massively disagree with that. I also know that George Cook is a huge McLaren fan, so therefore completely disagreeing with everything you've just said there, Isaac. Ferrari for the win. But no, welcome in to everyone that is in the chat watching. I hope you are all enjoying the action. I've just got the chat open as well, so I can see a few bits and pieces there. George Cook will try his best to scream for the McLarens, but everyone knows Ferrari is best. And I'm Scottish, how could I possibly be wrong? Nick in the Mustang in 5th position. He's got half a second to make up on Matt ahead again through this infield section. You absolutely love to see this. I'd love to get a better camera angle, but technical problems are slowing us down. And in fact, speaking of technical problems, he had a technical tap in turn number 1. He's had a technical tap through turn number 11. Where are we going to see another double tap through turns 9 and 10? He's got Exult and a driver I know very well indeed, Mr. Stone Harbour, in 11th position at the minute. But Machen, I think, is going to be the one to watch here. Immortan Nick, I do like that. It's a cross between Important and Immortal. You can't ask for much more than that, Nick, to be honest. But at the moment, we are going to stick on with Machen. He goes up the inside, Exult, realising he's up against a much faster driver. Doesn't put up too much defence, though. He's coming right back at him. Going to take the outside line in the BMW through turn 13. He almost made that stick as well. Machen does well to hang on to that position, but yeah, Exult certainly not giving up the fight on that one too easily. That is for absolutely sure, and there is confirmation. Machen is ahead. He's now closing in on Stone Harbour. We've got Viper Z and Den. There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, Isaac, he's just set the fastest lap of the race, and he is all over the back of that BMW right now.
He certainly is, and it's making me say, oh, Dan, because Matt Donetti is absolutely flying at the moment in that number 51, now Pro Class, Aston Martin for CP Motorsports. He is all over the back of Simon Bishop, looking to make a move. Through turn 8 they go now to the back complex. This is where he went off the track earlier, so he'll be making sure that he's nice and safe through here now. Even if he loses a little bit of time to Simon Bishop, he knows he's quick pretty much everywhere else at the moment, but it doesn't look like he's lost any time there. He is all over the back of the number 2 BMW. And Simon Bishop, he's just looking to put on a good result today. If he can finish well here and finish ahead of his rivals in Nick Carter, which is a more than Nick, James Machin and Liam Tame, he can wrap up the overall and the Pro Championship today. So he can walk away from this race a champion if he does the job well, and that's all he'll be doing. He'll still want to fight for position. These guys all want to fight for position, but he'll be thinking more about the championship. Not sure. We might have to tap into the psyche of Simon Bishop there to figure out that one for sure. This is Stone Harbour, or Sheppers on the screen at the moment. He's doing a great job down in P13, the second of the 2 Enterforce Racing Ferraris, who are currently 1-2 for Ferrari overall, and he's now chasing down Dan Crawley, who's in 12th position at the moment. These guys battling for the... Well, no, actually, they're not battling for Pro, because Dan Crawley is a Pro-Am driver. It's registered him as a Pro. So everything's a little bit backwards at the moment, but we promise it will be fixed for race 2. We have a 5-minute interval between the end of this race and when we go qualifying for race 2. So there'll be time for the admin to fix those issues between those races. But these guys doing a really good job at the moment. LJ doing a great job down in P14 as well. Just looking through the grids at drivers that are currently in a little bit of a battle. We've got Viper Z and Chipperton in the Porsche, who Chipperton on for one of his best results of the season, I would think, up in P8. He struggled a little bit for pace in that Porsche this season, and it's been confirmed he'll switch to the Mustang for Season 2. He's a lot more comfortable in the Mustang, so we'll see him in the Mustang for Season 2. But, John, I have to say, that Porsche is one of my favourite sounding cars on this game, if not maybe of all time.
It does sound absolutely incredible. For me, it's that and the Mercedes. Such contrasting engine sounds. The Porsche much higher pitched, of course, than the mighty Mercedes. The Mercedes does actually sound like the god of thunder himself. But yeah, there is no arguing with the noise that comes out the back of that Porsche. Certainly the flames coming out the back of that exhaust when they're changing down gears. It does look very, very, very good at night. And the Porsche... Oh, he's coming under pressure, actually. Viper Z thinking about it in turn 1. The Porsche is obviously going to be more bogged down on the straights. Through the twisty stuff, though, it is a nimble little machine, and there we can see just how nimble it is compared to the BMW. Absolutely leaves them standing through those middle corner phases. And the Porsche getting it done exactly where he needs to keep that gap. Still up at the front, the top the top 3 are battling away. Willstar in the Porsche, making his in the Bentley, making his debut. And what a debut is! He's 3.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, and that gap is going to keep increasing because these 2 drivers are still absolutely going at it. Much more evenly matched, the Aston and the BMW in a straight line compared to the Porsche and the BMW. And it is the Aston at the minute that is doing the chasing. Got that fastest lap as well still. Only 7 laps in. Well, only 7 laps in. Well, we're 13 minutes into the race. Where does time go? It just absolutely flies by with these races. Viper Z still trying to close in on Chipperton. And where is Machin? Machin, he's gone past Exult. Oh, and in fact, Stone Harbour's dropped another position. Stone Harbour has dropped another position, and there's white flags waving. Doesn't look like he's carrying any damage, but he is down to 14th. 15th position as Retcon goes, but 16th position. He's down in 17th.
He may have spun.
I think he has spun.
May have had a spin. Oh, you can see that car is so loose. There's definitely got dirty tyres, so I'd say he's spun somewhere early on in the lap, which is so easy to do coming out of turn 7, especially. The cars are sort of floating across the road, and the surface change with the concrete and the tar, just especially in the Ferrari, which is such a finite car.
He's just gone up
Machin,
the
what a beautiful
inside.
move.
That is absolutely precision. It's the type of thing you would expect. Gives the McLaren. I don't think he'll be too popular with the Adrenaline GT administrative staff, because that is the McLaren just made look very, very ordinary there. Machin sending it up the inside through turns 2 and 3 and getting that move done. And I tell you what, it's going to be Machin well worth watching for the rest of the race, because he has definitely got pace on the driver's head, especially based on the quali times. They were head and shoulders above the drivers ahead. Who's he got? He's got Viper Z, Chipperton, Nemo XN. Oh, and Owl Dusty getting a bit dusty on the tyres there. That is not the place you want to be picking up gravel, he is going to be, because the cars behind are now going to be well and truly picking up that slipstream. And
yes,
that is a nice little transition as well there, but Dusty picking that up, and Machin now 3 seconds down. You'd be hard pushed to find anyone that's going to bet against Machin getting comfortably back inside the top 10 now, Isaac. He's got the bit between his teeth after that early contact. He's already dispatched 6 or 7 drivers with relative ease, and he's got a 3-car battle going on ahead of him, which is just going to play right into his hands for gaining back a couple of spots here.
It's a 4-car battle looking at that picture, but absolutely he will be licking his lips and probably not rubbing his hands together. He's driving a car, so that wouldn't be advisable. But he will be licking his lips at the side of those 4 cars all battling away. Al Dusty, he's doing a great job at the moment as second in the Pro-Am class at the moment, but he is struggling for pace compared to those behind him. It's so difficult to overtake around here, which means that he will be in the best position with no stops required in this race to hold on. Track position, as we said earlier, is so key around here. But these guys behind him, Nemo, Chipperton, Liam Tame of Viper Z, and Machin, they're all very good at what they do. They're all great at the trade, and I have no doubt if anyone can get an overtake done, it's these guys. But this is going to go all the way down to the wire, I feel. John, this is going to be one to watch. Speaking of one to watch, this battle is still going on with Matt Donetti and Simon Bishop, and it's been an absolute free kick for Will Star, or Will Morgan, as he has got out to almost a 5-second gap to these two. And Matt has dropped a bit off the back of these guys, Matt Simmons. He's now 3 seconds off the back of Matt Donetti at the moment. But here we go. This is the run that Matt Donetti wanted. You can see Simon Bishop trying to cover the inside as we run down towards turn 1. He is pushing as hard as he can to get this position done. Is Matt Donetti into turn 1? He's looking to the outside. They're going side by side.
Oh.
A bit of a squeeze there maybe from Matt Donetti, but that is clean. Simon Bishop's coming back at him. It's not done yet. This is still on as we come down towards turn 4. These guys are still side by side through turn 5. It's still going on into turn 6. No, Simon Bishop has now got ahead. But whoa, that was an amazing sequence of corners and an amazing battle to keep an eye on. That was incredible.
And it's still going on. Are you not entertained? I believe both of those drivers are now screaming out of those driver windows and into the rear view mirrors. What a rear view mirror that is. Very, very, very full for the BMW at the moment. Niemal is within 6/10. Machin has got past Chipperton, so while that was going on, Machin not to be left out with the overtaking action. He's got himself up to 9, so he's back into the single digits, because it's Viper Z ahead of him. That's where the stray Z came from there, but Machin in the Mustang. That Mustang is mighty, it's fair to say. He's back up to 9th position. We still do have quite a few cars running, but Stone Harbour is in the pits. He's picked up damage, and Nifty is in the pits as well. He's a few laps down, in fact. We've still got 23 cars out on track, as you can see. Trapmaster bringing up the rear. Heartstopper in 22nd with Junkie Porpoise in 21st place. Excel in 20th position. That is quite the name. I've seen some crackers on here. That is a good one. XL all the way down in 20th position after starting in 6th place. So a tough start for him. With Thomas and Checkered Globe still running. Porsche GT dropping down the order. And you can see there the damage on the front of the car. And that really will be detrimental to the top end speed on the bank. And I was going to do a full rundown. But Machin has already got the move done. He's already got the move done. That's overtake number 76 million for Machin so far. He is now ahead of Viper Z, and it is Niemal that he is going to be closing in on. So I was talking about a top 5, Isaac, a top 10, Isaac. Machin is definitely still on for a top 5. He really is carving his way through the field, and it's good to see after an incident like that. It's so easy to lose your head, lose your grip, and just lose that little bit of composure. But Machin, hold my beer. Top 5, let's go.
He's doing a great job. It's a fair gap between Al Dusty and Amor to Nick, who's currently in P5, about 10 seconds. So there'll be a lot of time to make up. And given that Amor to Nick and Machen are teammates. I think there'd be a little bit of team orders there at play, even if he did catch up. But it's definitely don't ride him out for a P6 here, because they've still got 10 minutes to go. So still a whole third of this race left. And this is what he's done in the first 2/3. He's gone all the way from second down to about 18th and all the way back up. And this is Mattinetti looking up the inside this time of Simon Bishop. Can he make the move stick? He's not as far up the inside this time, but he's going to go for this cheeky switchback that Simon Bishop tried to pull off last time. Maybe look up the inside. No, but that is getting very spicy for the second and third place, and potentially Matt Simmons down in fourth will be rubbing his hands together. You can see that gap was about 3.5 seconds not too long ago, and it's now down to just under 2.5. So Matt Simmons is starting to close in, and Nick Carter's not too far off the back of him.
Indeed, yeah, this could bring a four-way battle for the final two podium position in the closing few minutes. I genuinely can't get my head around the fact that this has been going for 21 minutes. It literally seems like 2 or 3 laps. There has been so much going on. We've got Machen, he's already on the back of the Mustang, and we've got Faye Victory right on the back of Rickon. So more overtakes in the midfield potentially. That Porsche absolutely, again, squealing its way through the twisty infield section. Dead Bull Racer is closing up there as well. Porsche GT not too far behind, but we're going to have to keep an eye on this podium battle, I feel. Although Nick and Matt, they're getting close to one another as well. Who gets the overtake done first here? Is it Den in the Aston, or is it Machen in the Mustang? We'll see if these two have any shenanigans into turn number 1 again. No, there we go. For the first time in 3 laps, they are going to go nose to tail into turn number 1. No side-by-side action. I'm sure they're happy about that. A whole lot less concentration. But I tell you what, out with that final out with that first chicane section. Oh, the Aston really is looking quick. A couple of cars really are looking a bit loose there out on track. These two, absolute synchronised driving at the minute. Let's see where Machen is. Let's see if we can actually catch a Machen overtake. He does like to get them done when we're not looking. There is a blue flag just getting themselves very quickly out of the way. And when I say very quickly, just slowly rolling through. That is 22nd position. That is Trapmaster. Stone Harbour is back out with the pits. He's 4 laps down. That must have been a big old spin he's had, and a lot of gravel he's picked up. Checkered Globe, I think, has just got the move done on WG Thomas as well, I think. Oh no, he's not. He's still closing in.
It's just up the road. No, yeah. So that's just up the road. That is Clayton Twining is Checkered Globe. He is running in 18th place, doing a great job at the moment. He's one of our AM drivers. He's second in class for the AM drivers at the moment and leading over Porsche GT, which is crucial because that gap was only 61 points coming into this weekend. So Clayton Twining having the lead over Porsche GT is massive for the championship. Just having a look, Matt Dinetti's having another look up the inside on the front straight on Simon Bishop. If we can have a look at that, but he's not close enough this time to get that done. But just looking as well, we've got Machen's now sizing up a run on Nemo, Cameron Neem. These guys both hard inside against the pit wall. Nemo's not giving him any sort of leeway here as they come down towards turn 1, and much like Mattinetti, I don't think James Machen is going to be close enough to make the move stick as they enter turn 1. But this is some great racing here. You wouldn't, as you mentioned earlier, you wouldn't think that it has been 25 minutes, almost 24 minutes in this race. No one would think we've been going for that long. 14 laps. It's just been battle after battle going on up and down the field, and this has been great for Will Morgan on debut, 8.5 seconds ahead of Simon Bishop. And as I predicted, John, it looks like a little friend is starting to get involved in this battle for the podium, and Matt Simmons is getting ever closer to the back of these boys.
He is, yeah, and Viper Z has been invited back into this battle with Machen as well. He's now within slipstream range. So Machen, for the first time in the race, has found himself with an extremely difficult overtake. This is the longest it's taken him to get an overtake done. The two Mustangs more than evenly matched, of course, and Viper Z is going to be doing his best to catch up there. Gord's in 11th as well. He's looking to crack the top 10 at the expense of Chipperton. McLaren versus Porsche. Right on the edge of the top 10. This one you would think would be in the favour of the McLaren, but Chipperton so far has put in an almighty performance in that Porsche. We've also got Faye Victory and Dead Bull Racer getting themselves nice and close, and Excel looking to get himself further inside the top 20 again. He's only half a second behind Aaron Thomas, so a great drive there. It does look like Nifty is retired, unfortunately. So yeah, big crash for him at the start has seen him drop out of the race. We've got Rickon still giving up the slipstream in that Porsche, although as I say that, the Aston takes a much wider line. The Porsche going mega defensive early doors, and it's going to be all for naught. We can see there the straight drag run. Oh, that BMW in the background absolutely bouncing off the wall. The Aston man looks to the inside line as the Porsche comes back onto the racing line. No manoeuvre to be found, but Dead Bull Racer, oh yeah, he's another driver that's absolutely licking his lips at the double overtake opportunity he's going to be presented pretty soon, you would think. Still 310 separating the top two, and the driver has had very little camera time at all. So let's have a look at the Bentley after that worldly of an overtake to start the race. Will Star not messing about. He's 9 seconds ahead of the field after 15 laps. That is an absolutely dominant performance. I cannot wait for race 2 to get started and see how they all got off the line this time. Viper Z, Machin and Niemal are still the battle that we're going to keep an eye on. Those 7th, 8th and 9th. Chipperton still under pressure from Gors, and in fact Gors might have just got the overtake done as Machin. No, let's stick on with Machin. Oh, and that's a bit of a late send there, Isaac, and he's moving back over to defend from the BMW as well. Oh, Machin could see a little bit of a slap on the wrist for that one, you would guesstimate. Again, we'll leave that to the stewards. Sitting here in the commentary box, we get to be very Swiss and completely neutral in that, but Machin, yeah, did look like that was from a bit way back, the back of it, front of his car, making contact with the back of the BMW. He has forced his way up into 8th position, and he's going for it in the background there. That is Gors on Chipperton. Full send into turn number 1. I did say that, and we've said that all the way through, Isaac. The Porsche is mighty through the corners, but in a straight line it really is massively handicapped, and Gors in the McLaren making that one look very easy along the start-finish straight.
Yeah, absolutely. He just sort of walked past him. He probably could have waved as he went past. It was just a casual stroll for him to overtake the number 10 Porsche of Chipperton. But he's doing a great job. Another man's doing a great job at the moment is Matt Zanetti. He's still right on the back. These two have been inseparable all race, which has been great for us because it's provided some amazing action coming down towards turn 13 now, where the contact between Machin and Nemo happened just a lap before. And again, we'll put our little Switzerland hat on and just leave that one to the discretion of the stewards following the race, but it's just providing some really good action, these guys. The exit through this corner is crucial for Matt Zanetti. You want to make sure you get as close as possible because the slipstream isn't super effective against the BMW because it's incredibly quick in a straight line, and the Aston Martin is not close enough that time to make any sort of move into turn 1. I think the tyres are starting to go now. Sitting behind a car for that long will raise the tyre temperature and the tyre pressure consequently, which means the grip isn't there as much for Matt Zanetti as he probably like. He's doing really well to keep with him, but I just don't think the tyre life is there with 2 minutes to go. They'll get another lap after this one, I would suggest. But I would say, yeah, it's going to be very difficult from here to overtake. He'll just be missing that front end bite that he really needs to get the rotation through the corners and get the exit. He's nice and close on the exit of turn 7 to the back of Simon Bishop. Can he make the move, stick on the rundown towards turn 8? He's not close enough again. That BMW straight line speed coming in clutch for Simon Bishop, probably saving him here. I think if he was in any other car, this move would have been done a long time ago on Simon Bishop, but that BMW straight line speed, John, is doing him a world of good at the moment. Yeah,
it really is. It's absolutely keeping him ahead. Are we going to see any last lap lunges? We will certainly find out very soon because we're fast approaching the last lap. We need to get a petition and get these races for about 3 weeks long, I think. Just to make sure we can let the drivers really entertain us, because they just do not slow down at all. Rickon in the Porsche, he's not long been overtaken by LG15, who's made a phenomenal breakaway to try and break off that slipstream, but it's not quite working out in his favour as Dead Bull Racer bringing up the rear of this little pack. Again, Stone Harbour down in 23rd position. Heartbreak for him. He was inside the top 10. Viper Z, as he... Oh, he's got past Nemol. He has been overtaken by Machin. Nemol is still closing in on that one as well. I'll tell you what, he's hanging with Machin, that is for sure. Although, as I say that, Machin gets an absolute worldie out with turn number 1. Scene of the crime, some might say. A couple of laps to go, 20 seconds left on the clock, so this is going to be the final lap for these drivers. It's going to be the final lap for this driver in the Bentley. What a performance to make your debut. That is how you stamp a marker. You start in 4th, you vault the top 3 into turn number 1, and you disappear off into the distance with a 9.5 second gap. The Bentley is back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got these two, Danetti still battling away for that final podium position as well. Viper Z and Nemo still very much in the hunt for positions as well. And Victory, Dead Bull Racer and Rickon all looking to swap positions if they can. Dead Bull Racer, oh, that is very close. Nope, he's backed right out of that one. Let's make sure, oh, and he's crossed the line. That is how much action is going on. Wilstar has crossed the line in the Bentley. He's taken the checker flag. Congratulations. What a race win that is. 2 tenths separate the final 2 podium positions as Campbell and Donetti come across the line. There is Mint Matt in the Mercedes in 4th. Portent Immortal Nick, both of the M's in 5th position. Dusty getting 6th. Machin got himself back up to 7th position. Quite the drive for him. The stewards might be wagging their finger a bit. We'll see what they say. Nemol in 9th and Gords rounding out the top 10. Chipperton, what a drive in the Porsche to see him in 11th. Exult, another driver dropping down the order. He's taken 12th place with LJ now coming round the last corner himself in the Ferrari. He's going to get 13th with Victory in 14th position. Rickon and Dead Bull Racer close in behind, so close in some of these groups. Thomas finishing in 17th. Checker Globe a bit down the order in the Aston. We'll see what he can do in race 2. We'll get the Pro-Ams and the Pro-Ams and the Ams all separated out for race 2. But Porsche GT still finishing on just outside the podium, in fact. So big drop down the order for Porsche GT as well. Junkie Porpoise in 20th position. Trapmister took the checkered flag for 21st with Heartstopper. Finishing, let me see if we can get this to work now, in 22nd position. We'll have a... In fact, to tell you what, I'm going to see if I can quickly grab the highlights as well while we're here. Yeah, there we go. We'll grab the highlights and we'll get a quick look at the results. But another race, round 7, race 1, Isaac. These drivers really don't know how to do anything other than absolutely put on a show. And that is an incredible win for the Bentley driver in his first race here at AGT.
Yeah, he's done an absolutely brilliant job. There was never any doubt, really. This guy is just an absolute freak in some of the races that he does, and he did a brilliant job coming in today. He was up, maybe not the best qualifying result that he would have wanted. Maybe the Bentley's not the best in qualifying for him. We don't know. We'll have to find out when we go into the second qualifying session. But whatever he did between that qualifying and the race, it was an absolute bullet. He did mention he was having a slow puncture on all 4 tyres towards the end there, so losing pressure in the tyres towards the end. So he's pushing those tyres very hard, but he's done a great job. The other driver that's done a great job, and I want to give a shout out to, is Al Dusty in 6th place. He came back last week for the first time in 6 months, I believe, well, since October, so a fair while, and he has a broken back. He's racing with a broken back, which is no mean feat. This man is sitting in the sim rig as we speak in a back brace. He was very sad when he couldn't race for such a long time, and he was desperate to get back in the rig and to do the amount of racing that he's done in a short period of time. He came back last week and got almost a top 10 result in the Zolder race, and then he's top 6 today in this race. I'm just absolutely in awe of what that man can do.
That is incredible. I mean, it's a little bit insane, but that is absolutely incredible. And yeah, full play to him. But if anyone is out there, if you do get yourself an injury, we love to see you out on track. But please do make sure you fully look after yourself and you're fully healed before coming back. But yeah, finishing in the top 6 in this field with an injury, that is that's no mean feat at all. We are going to do a quick server restart, so we are going to have a quick bit of a break here while we confirm the server has reset. Isaac and myself will be back very shortly. Do stay tuned. It's round 7. It's race number 2, and after race 1, I guarantee you'll all still be here when we get back. We will see you in a few short moments.
Been trying to change what I've been trying to say. Words don't come straight from my head to my mouth. It's such a shame that it fell out of place. Was never me that was bringing you down. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? Always looking for more. Why we always looking for more? Why we always looking for more? I wish that I could change what you wanted.
We'll get some highlights up on screen from race number 1. Oh, and there was the incident that saw some more damage being doled out further down the field. So yeah, we'll have a quick watch of some highlights. The server is being set up for race number 2. Who do we all fancy for race number 2? Dusty and Gordo in the top 10. I've seen enough get Dusty in process prevails. Yeah, would agree with that. Would hate to be a steward, indeed. Indeed, it is a thankless task. Confirmation, Isaac now has job security for mentioning the mighty McLaren. Porsche GT is in the chat as well. Stone Harbour, there we go. Watch me use the oval instead of the road course, says Stoney. That's not a bad idea, actually. The laps would be a lot quicker as well. Den is in the chat too. Baldy we've got in. So good evening good afternoon, or if it's like myself, good morning to everyone that is tuning in. We've got round number 7, race 2 on the horizon for the Adrenaline AGT ACC Season 1. Of course, Season 2 already being announced. Sign-ups are being accepted. Those positions are running out fast, so make sure you get yourself over to the Discord and get yourself signed up for some incredible action. I mean, if you're not encouraged to race after what you've seen from race number 1, you might not be a fully committed sim racer. So make sure you do get yourself joining in. What a grid. I mean, that is easily the quickest 30 minutes of racing that I've ever presided over in my time doing this. And we are going to get to see some of these major overtakes in the highlights as well, which is very nice, because he did make quite a few after that opening lap contact. Just found himself over the inside curves. Oh, and yeah, a bit of a door bang on that one. We did actually catch that one on stream as well. We're here for Indianapolis. Of course, the final round is at Imola, Aqua Minerale. Oh yes. The dip down and the run back up the hill. We'll see how the drivers cope with that one. Been an incredible calendar so far. Spa, Suzuka, Zolder, Zandvoort, to name but a few. And there is Nifty just dropping off the pace as well. It does look like his car's crabbing ever so slightly in the... so I'm not sure, there's a bit of a connection issue to the server, but of course cracking on. Who do we all fancy in race number 2 then? Get your predictions into the chat. Let us know who you fancy, and we will be here to cover it, of course, on behalf of TrackSpotTV, proud broadcasting partner of the league, and absolutely delighted to be presiding over this action. We're going to have some fresh commentary lineup for Season 2 as well. So many announcements to come. Get into the Discord. It's the only way to keep up with everything that's going on. And of course, thank you to everyone that is liking and subscribing on the YouTube channel. Hugely appreciated. It goes a long way to help and support the organisations that support our beloved sim racing. So thank you to everyone that's put a thumbs up on the stream so far. If you haven't, why not? Get it done. Click the thumb and we are good to go. And speaking of good to go, we're going to bring Isaac back in because quali has started, Isaac.
Yes, we are well into the battle of quali now. No one yet to set a lap time. The first few laps should be coming through now as we look at our track yet again. 15 corners is this circuit, and what a challenge these 15 corners are. There's the turn 1, you've got to get it absolutely right. Too much curb and the car just unsettles, and then through this really tricky 5, 6, 7 complex. And then the run down the back straight towards turn 8. And this is a heavy braking zone. We saw quite a few moves through there. Turns 9, 10, and 11. Muck that up and you'll be wide off the circuit. And then back up onto the banking for turns 11, 12, 13. And then into 14 and through 15 onto the banking and down the front straight. It's quite a lap around here, and I do really love this circuit. It's a love-hate relationship, I should say, with this circuit. It's very deceiving in how flat it is, but it's been great. The action that we've had in race 1 has been absolutely thrilling to watch, and I'm very excited for race 2. Having a look at how qualifying is going at the moment, it's currently Simon Bishop up the top of the timesheets with a 1:36.1, so not as fast as we've seen in the first qualifying session, which says to me that we still have some room to improve for these guys. This is certainly not the fastest we're going to see them. Will Morgan in second place at the moment, and not too far behind Simon Bishop, our race 1 winner, Will Morgan. And then James Machen looking to back up a really good qualifying in the first race with a really good qualifying in the second race, and he'll find his way, I should say, up the field and not have to sort of work his way back. I think he was a bit frustrated having to work his way back up the field in that first race, so having to just start up there and maybe stay there, we might be able to see what he really can do behind the wheel of that 193 Mustang. But it's great to see all the names we know and love back on screen now. Everything is business as usual for the stream and for these guys, and Matt Simmons has just gone to the top, and it's pretty close at the top if you look at those gaps. As I say that, Simon Bishop, he's just He's made me look like a liar.
Oh, they do love to do that. Oh, Dernetti, 600s behind. How close. There was a tenth and a half separating 5 drivers. There's now... That was a lot of travel on that rear suspension there.
I have to say, he did that last night in his top 10 shootout lap for AusNZ. He took way too much curb, and there was a lot of travel in the suspension. He stuck the thing on pole. So I certainly wouldn't rule out this lap being a quick one, because I think the more he bounces through that turn 1, the faster his lap time is.
Eden, that was actually something that you and I were talking about in our pre-broadcast meetings that we'll like to hold. If you want to get yourself involved in a competitive league, there is no better in this area, Isaac. As you just said, Dernetti putting on pole, was it 3 of the top 4 drivers all race here at AGT, I believe you told me last night?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
3 of the top 4 drivers. And the other driver in the top 4 is Guy Barbara, OP Twitchy. So one of the current World Tour drivers for Gran Turismo 7 was the other guy that was in top 3, and he was 3rd. So Martinetti was on pole. It was actually Anthony Burrows, number 15, who's currently 15th place. He was 2nd on the grid in the Mustang. And then a man who's not racing tonight, but is a beloved admin of this league, Josh Green, is 4th place for that tomorrow. And that actually, as well, is being broadcasted by TrackSpotTV. So that's in partnership with TrackSpotTV. Kid Byers, Trev does a great job, as well as Mike Howe and Cameron Norris. They are a brilliant commentary team, and I will give them a plug because I absolutely love watching their broadcast. So if you're not doing much tomorrow, 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time, that race kicks off, and it's going to be 4 hours around this circuit. So half an hour of racing around this circuit tonight has been absolutely incredible to watch. And if you're not doing much tomorrow and you want to watch some even more incredible racing around here, there's 4 hours of it with a brilliant commentary team. We are also, not to shoot our own horn, but we're also pretty good at this commentary thing, I would like to think. But those other guys, Trev, Mike and Cameron, they do a great job in the commentary box as well, and they're brilliant to listen to. And that's, again, in partnership with TrackSpotTV. So go and check that out as well if you're not doing much tomorrow.
Indeed, yeah. Even if you do have much on tomorrow, cancel it. That race is going to be an absolute
go and watch anyway.
banger. Yeah, let's go and watch it anyway. I believe for me it's going to be at midnight. So that'll be me tucked up in bed with the popcorn, the fizzy juice, and got it on about 3 or 4 different screens so I can overly analyse everything. But you're right, the commentary team that they've got there is absolutely world class. They really do bring the action to life, much like, as you say, we do ourselves, Isaac. But these drivers absolutely make it easy for us. It has to be said, the most difficult thing is actually keeping up with everything that's going on, because there is so much going on. At the minute, though, is Dernetti doing Dernetti things once again. He's 3/10 up on Bishop with less than a minute left of qualifying. Silver is in the pits, King is in the pits, Horvath, Twinning, Stewart and Takacs, all in the pits with time set. So all 25 drivers have set a time, some of them not as quick as others, but they will realise after race number 1, it doesn't matter where you qualify, it matters where you finish, and we're going to see some of these drivers rocket through the field. Machin up on the 2nd row still, half a second down on Dernetti's time, a 35.5.
Dernetti's going even faster, he's 2/10 up at the moment.
On a 36-degree track temperature, Isaac. Where do they find the rubber?
Indeed.
How are they finding this much grip? Where are the blisters going? Why do these aliens not suffer the same as us mere mortals, is the question I'm asking myself right now, Isaac.
Yeah, I'd love to know what black magic they've conducted, or what deal they've made with the devil to make sure that they get the excellent tyre physics. But he's 3/10 up at the moment as he comes through to turn 12, and this is going to be even faster. We're going to see borderline 34 from Martinetti, which is absolutely insane. His pole time yesterday in the BMW for AusNZ was a 35.7. And he's knocked that out of the park today. So it's amazing what you can do when you get a couple laps. James Machin has gone as fast as he can. Simon Bishop has gone as fast as he can. They're both met the checkered flag. Here we go. Is he going to improve? What's it going to be? A 35.4. for Matt Donetti. So still fairly quick. Nick Carter, last minute, jumps up into third place.
Ooh.
Will Morgan coming towards the line. Is there anything he can do to move himself up the grid as he comes towards the line? He is 4 tenths up at the moment, so this could be he could find himself well within the front row, and he does. He puts himself on the front row with a beautiful lap to jump Simon Bishop. So your race 1 winner gets himself on the front row, and I can hear you laughing, John, because you know just as well as I do that this race is shaping up to be something exciting.
Oh, this is going to be absolutely incredible. How to wake yourself up first thing in the morning in Scotland. Watch Adrenaline AGT. End of story. Absolutely loving this. Let's look at these timetables and see just how ridiculously close it is. Although Matt Donetti doesn't feel like sharing any of the purple sectors in this race. We saw in race 1. Sector 1 purple time was shared by 2 drivers. Donetti has actually gone slower this time in Sector 1 by 11 hundredths of a second, but it is enough to fend off the rest of the field. Morgan with a 37.1 in Sector 1, but it's only good enough to see him 3 tenths off the leader. He does have a 10th and a half back to Bishop. This is going to be an almighty run into turn number 1. And we've got a Ferrari up in the top 6. I need to stop clicking on that. There we go. Silver in the Ferrari in 6th position. Second in the Pro-Ams. Almost said silver there. And Gordon 3rd for the Pro-Ams. Then is our lead Am driver. I'm getting myself so excited about the thought of the race here. XL leading the way for the Arms with King in 2nd place. Porsche GT down in 20th place overall. But again, qualifying is vanity. Finishing position is the sanity, the driver's seat. And again, after that first race, it is absolutely all to play for. Well played though by the Arms. I can see a couple of them getting promoted. I mean, King starting in 12th, and we've got Sandwith and Griffin 4th and 5th for the Pro-Ams. They're in 16th and 17th position. Crawley and Horvath behind them. Porsche GT going to start, as we mentioned, down in 20th position. We've got Sinclair down in 21st. And then he will be chased by a solid pack of Arms into turn number 1. Boyd Twinning, Stewart and Takax bringing up the rest, bringing up the rear of the field. I don't believe that is a representative time for those drivers down at the back of the grid, so we'll see what they can do in the race. But Isaac, here we go again. We've got 2 minutes until the quickest 30 minutes of our lives, and Morgan, we saw what he could do in race number 1 off the start. He really utilised that roll and start. He got himself up 4 positions. He now only needs 1 position to take the lead, but it is Matt Donetti that he's going to be up against into turn number 1 with Bishop hunting him down. Carter and Machin, the mighty Mustangs, following in. It's an interesting proposition for the drivers into turn 1 this time around.
Yeah, it certainly is. And we saw Morgan get a really good start last time. That Bentley is absolutely flying off the line. It's so quick in a straight line. So Matt Zanetti's going to have to be on his A game if he wants to hold on to that lead coming into turn 1. We saw him drop to 3rd off the start last time, which tells me maybe the Aston is not as quick as some of the other cars around it. We've got 2 Fords in the top 5, Carter and Machin, the 2 TTR Westside teammates. So those boys will be looking to make moves early. Machin looking to make up for that error that he had. Well, not error, but that contact that he had at the start of race 1. Max Silver. I cannot speak the praises of this man highly enough. He is doing an amazing job for a man that is struggling with back pain. He's sitting in a back brace. He is P6 at the start of this race. He is 2nd in the Pro-Am class. I'm going to call him 1st in the Pro-Am class because I've really just stopped counting Matt Donetti as a Pro-Am driver. It's considering he's on pole, it's a bit of a joke at this point. But Max Silver is doing an amazing job, and Josh Gordon on debut for McLaren Motorsports in the 25 car is also back inside the top 10. This is just there's some really good stories up and down this field at the moment with how some of these guys are doing and the performances that they're putting in.
Yeah, Silver in the back brace, that is absolutely wild to be putting in the performance that he has put in. Yeah, absolutely incredible. Bear with me a moment. I'm just going to very quickly.
We have breaking news. Matt Donetti, in an attempt to stay Pro-Am, has offered to buy me a house because he's desperate to not lose his Pro-Am title, because this man knows that he is too quick for Pro-Am. It's been a running joke this season that he needs to up the payments to stay Pro-Am every week, and I said at the start of this week, unfortunately the payments have got too expensive for him and it's just not possible anymore. But he's just offered to buy me a house, so I'll seriously consider that one, I think. But no, he's got a good sense of humor, and that's what we like to see. These guys are really funny blokes, and they're really, really nice blokes to chat to, and everyone's friendly with each other, which is really good. It's a wonderful community, the AGT community. They race each other really hard, but they also just like to have a laugh after the race and at the end of the day, and it's great to be able to have the experience of chatting to all these guys, and it gives me, John, a good insight into how they think as well. Obviously, when we're out on track, we don't know what they're thinking at that point in time, but the more I talk to them pre-race, post-race, and just throughout the week, you sort of begin to get an understanding of what these guys think when they're out on track and what they're trying to achieve, which really helps us in the commentary box.
It really does, yeah. And Matt, just a quick note, that's absolutely outrageous. I'll keep you in Pro-Ams if you buy me a car instead of a house. How's that? Much cheaper bribery rates here in the north of Scotland, so you're absolutely fine with Norton. He is going to be pro next season, and he is going to be one of the favourites to win that championship. It would be quite the story to go from Pro-Ams to winning the Pros. He's got a really strong field behind him, of course. Morgan is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Bishop and Carter, Machin. You can't look past these guys all as main championship protagonists, but certainly the way Dernetti drives, he really is the full package. He can put it on pole, he can lap quickly, consistently. We saw in race number one, the racecraft, he might have finished in third place, but he certainly gave it a go. So many side-by-side manoeuvres were attempted, some really clean cutback attempts as well, and knows when to hold them and when to fold them, and that is often a skill set that drivers don't seem to possess. We're coming into the final chicane for the final race of today. Not only do we need to make these longer, we need to have more. I think we need to have a third race as well, because I'm loving the action that we're getting treated to. And it's going to be an almighty start. We've got an Aston, a Bentley, a BMW and two Mustangs up in the top 5. Of course, we've got silver in the Ferrari, massively out-qualifying the McLaren George, with in 6th position with Simmons in 17th, in 8th Gordon there in the Macca in 9th position. But here we go, 30 minutes of racing, 35-degree track temperature, 23 drivers dueling out for the penultimate time, and they are foot down, flat out and flying into turn number 1 again. Dernetti gets a good start, but once again so does Morgan. He's coming into turn number 1. Oh, drive through for Thomas for being out of position, and the Bentley's already in lead. Oh, and the Mustang's hit the wall and he's taking out the top 3. Oh, that's a huge crash there. Huge crash. Matt Dernetti took that one. So did Morgan. So did Bishop. They've all been absolutely thrown asunder as one of the Mustangs. Completely out of position there. Missed these brakes massively and ended up firing. It's King. It's King. Wow, he will not be king in the server today. He's missed these brakes into turn 1. He's collected the top 3. Dernetti is definitely not in first place. This is all going to massively update. I'm not even sure who is in the lead now. Now we're going to need to wait for them all to get through sector number 1. Look at the amount of damage on Neem's car.
It was Cameron Neem. Yeah, it was Cameron Neem. That was the man that got 2 crossed up into turn 1. Not sure what happened. Maybe contact. We don't know. But it was Cameron Neem that was the one that was into the wall and then into the race leaders, and that'll be very frustrating for all of those guys off that race start. That was very massive indeed, and I can already foresee a long night ahead for the race stewards. But just want to give a quick plug as we... Oh, no, I was going to say the McLaren was in second, but we're watching as the timing screen starts to fix itself up now. And there's all happening further down the grid as well. That is a car driving. I believe that Sheeper's driving through the styrofoam barriers. That's the drive-through penalty that Aaron Thomas has to serve, and he's got Oz XL alongside him in the final, bit loose there in the final corner, has to make a correction. And it's all happening. James Machin leads the way over Matt Simmons, then Liam Tame in third place, and then Josh Gordon doing a brilliant job for the McLaren guys. Go the McLarens. I'm going to pick the McLaren side in this one, I think, in this battle. I want to keep my job. But he's doing a great job at the moment, and then Ferrari of Sheep is right in behind him. Wow, that was a big start.
Oh, bit of contact there between Carter and Silver. It's Carter that slips on through. Silver looking to fight back. He's now got Griffin. Oh, and that is a clumsy contact there from Silver. That's taken out the Mustang and the Ferrari. Race 2. The drivers completely losing their cool in these cooking conditions. All except Machin, though. It's an ill wind that blows nobody some good. Machin got caught out lap 1, turn 1. And it is Simmons who finds himself in second. Okay, yep. Sorry, just checking some with George in the background. But yeah, Tame in third. Machin, absolutely flying start. Avoided the trouble. Sheepers is ahead of Thomas, who's got that penalty to serve. Morgan has recovered ever so slightly. He is in 10th place. Bishop is now down in 16th. Anything that Machin can do race 1. Let's see what Bishop and Dernetti can do in race number 2. And in fact, it looks like Bishop getting the move done on Sinclair there and closing right onto the back of Porsche GT. Another driver who managed to avoid the carnage there. Up to 14th position, now second in the Pro-Am. So a good start there. So it seems to be very much swings and rounders. Sorry, my hay fever medication catch up with me, Isaac, so I'll turn over to you. But it certainly swings and roundabouts. The drivers that suffered in race 1 have all got a clean start, and the drivers that got a clean start in race 1 all suffering in race 2. Machin leading the way, and some incredible battles now throughout the field as Bishop and Dernetti try and make back all these positions.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of work to do for these boys. Cameron Neame in the lane with damage. Can confirm, not sure by who, but he did get hit from behind. I've confirmed that with him. So he was, in fact, hit from behind, which was why he was into the inside wall and then into the race leaders off the start of the race there. So that'll be a long night for the stewards. But this man, Matt Zanetti, I've always said, we said at Coda, he gets one race to get through turn 1 cleanly, and then the next time, that's it. And he got one race at Coda, and then the second race he had someone in the back of him. This race he had a really good race start, a nice clean race start, and then Cameron Neame went bowling at turn 1 into the braking zone. So very unfortunate to be carrying a bit of damage on that number 51 car. And that was, I believe, trying to catch who that was. That's XL, and where are we watching? That's Simon Bishop. That's XL trying to get past Aaron Thomas, who has a drive-through, and he now dives into the pit lane. It's a massive time loss here for the drive-through. I'll get the percentages for you at home if you're watching, just so you know how long you lose just for serving a drive-through. But it is an absolute kicker around here at this circuit because it's such a short lap, but it's such a long pit lane, and they run for so long through it. It's so frustrating having to go through the pits at this circuit. It drives me crazy, but nevertheless, we push on. There is still racing happening on track for these guys, and this is Les Sandwith, Simon Bishop, and Frank Horvath battling away for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Simon Bishop trying to make the move on these guys in front of him, but Les Sandwith is looking up the inside of Horvath and can't quite make that stick as well. That Porsche going very defensive into turn 6. These guys just pushing really hard at the moment. Simon Bishop trying to bide his time. I think he's just trying to be patient here to make sure that he doesn't get too caught up in whatever this battle is. But you can see here, covering the inside is Frank Horvath, and Les Sandwith gets past him. Can Simon Bishop go around the outside into turn 8? I think he might have. He has. That's a beautiful move around the outside, and very textbook from Simon Bishop to get that move done. But just looking up and down the field, Yeah, it's Mazzanetti up into 15th now ahead of Sinclair King Porsche GT. So I think I'm actually 14th place for Mazzanetti because that was Porsche GT in behind him. So 14th place for Mazzanetti, chasing after the top 10 places. That is Sam King trying to work his way up the field. Well, he's in 17th at the moment, still nursing a bit of damage on that Mustang. But there's a lot happening, and we're only 7 minutes into this race. Josh.
Indeed.
Josh.
Yeah, indeed we are. Yeah, Morgan making his way back through the field. We seem to have a bit more camera control as well, which is always nice. Sheepers up into 5th place. Machin is doing Morgan type things over the front. He's already 3.3 seconds in the lead. So there you go. Sim racing and racing in general, it really can be a cruel miss, as Machin in race 1 had to put a monster comeback drive on after taking contact. Whole lot of contact in front of him in race number 2. He is now strolling away in the lead with his main protagonists for potentially taking that race win much further down the field. Bishop has just disposed of Sandwith, so he's already back to 11th. Matt Dernetti has already set the fastest lap of the race, and imagine he will just keep going faster and faster. King and Porsche GT now having themselves a bit of a battle through the infield section. These two looking, and the McLaren just having a bit of a touch on the grass. That's going to invite the Mustang up the inside, and they're going to go side by side through turn 9. They're both going to survive on the exit just about. Oh, and they have just both survived that there, but King is certainly looking quicker than Porsche GT at the moment. This is for the final podium positions in the AM class, so this is for points and position. He sends it to the outside line. Is he going to have enough room there? No, he's not. He's looking for the cutback, and Porsche GT and the McLaren just finding his way onto that outer curb, and that is King safely through and up into second. In the arms, Matt Dernetti has had the fastest lap taken from him by Machin up at the front. He is about to take Horvath in the Porsche. No surprise there. The Aston in a straight line is a completely different beast to the Porsche. So that is Dernetti already up to 13th position. As yet, Horvath in the Porsche. Bishop is in 11th place with Morgan now in 8th position. Gordon and Tame are having themselves a battle then. So we do have a McLaren ahead of the Ferrari. So my apologies to the Ferrari drivers for cursing the commentator here after singing the praises and downplaying the McLaren. Gordon having absolutely none of that talk. He is leading the way in the Pro-Ams, which is no mean feat when you consider Dernetti is in that field. He's currently 4th. Gordon looking to get himself onto an overall podium, and that would be quite the show. And the McLaren versus the BMW, this is going to be a solid battle between these two. We'll see how that one irons out. We know what pace Morgan has got, and he can craft out an overtake as well. Got 4 done, lap 1, turn 1 in race number 1 today. It's now Silver. He's got ahead of him. Silver receiving some rough treatment in the opening few laps, but has settled down, currently holding on to second in those Pro-Ams. I'm also teetering on Bishop as well. Bishop and Crawley. Crawley going for the defensive line early, but it does look like Bishop was getting a little bit of slipstream from that Porsche ahead of him. And yeah, Crawley there. We're going to call that race IQ 200, because Crawley knows it's Bishop. He's in the pros. I do not need to battle this driver. Let's just let the quick guy get in front and maybe catch myself some slipstream. Bishop back through, and Crawley playing it absolutely perfectly there, Isaac.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very smart racing from Dan Crawley. You saw the flash of the lights on the front straight, just to sort of acknowledge that I'm just going to work with you here. I don't want either of us to be held up. You're just definitely quicker than me, but yeah, I don't want to make a big drama out of this. He's done very well. Mazzanetti working his way through the field as well. We can see Josh Gordon on screen at the moment, chasing down Liam Tame. He's doing a really good job. XL has actually got past the Ferrari of Sheppers and is up into 5th place. And he's doing a really good job. He's the leading AM driver at the moment, and he's still I think he is out of the championship contention for the AMs, but he wants to make a statement towards the end of this season that he's ready for the Pro-Am class. And He's a very quick driver, as shown by the fact he's up in 5th place. But another quick driver who's doing a really good job at the moment is Will Morgan. He's still on the back of Sheepers. He's found his way past Al Dusty, or Max Silver as he is known, and got himself up onto the back of the Ferrari of Sheepers now. But this is Simon Bishop ranging up onto the back of Anthony Burrows. It didn't take long at all for him to find a little bit of contact there from Sheppers with the wall, and Burrows just rolls out of the throttle slightly to let Simon Bishop go through. These guys not putting up too much of a fight. They know how quick Simon Bishop is, and they know he's going to be on a mission. He is going to be on a mission to catch up to the cars in front and make up places. There's still 17 minutes to go in this race, and I'm rubbing my hands together at the fact that we could still see Simon Bishop on this podium, because the cars in front aren't too far spread out at the moment. It is Machen still leading the way with a 3.5 second lead over Matt Simmons in this race, and then it's 4 seconds back to Liam Tame and Josh Gordon, who are battling away for the back end of the podium. This is Sam King ranging up onto the back of Nick Carter and Mark Sinclair, and he's doing a really good job as well in the 59 Mustang, filling in for James Hammond this week, who's busy renovating his house. Actually, that's why he's not racing with us this evening. And that's a move up the inside for Nick Carter on Mark Sinclair. Very clean, very textbook move into turn 8 from the TTR Westside driver, and that finds himself up into 15th place now, so up into the top 15, and he can set after Frank Horvath.
Indeed he can, yeah, and King just having a bit of a moment there. Perfect opportunity for him to close that gap, but loses his way ever so slightly through 9, 10 and 11, and has dropped a bit of pace there. Loving the fact that we've got some camera control back. Let's not talk about it out loud in case we jinx it. Morgan and Sheepers, they're still going at it for 6th place. Gordon still looking for an overall podium in the McLaren. That would certainly have the Adrenaline GT admin absolutely out of their seats. And again, apologies to all the Ferrari drivers for jinxing you at the start. Let's see what Morgan can do against Sheepers. We've seen the absolute raw pace that Morgan has got. We haven't seen much in the way of in-race overtakes after getting 4 done off the start line. Oh, and he knows where to put that car. He is absolutely nibbling away at Sheepers' lead there. It did look like Sheepers was a bit unsure as to where to put the car. Do I go defensive? Do I stick to the racing line? Is this overtaking manoeuvre inevitable? I would say yes. It's a case of when rather than if. He sends it around the outside in the middle of the infield section. Can he? Oh, Sheepers hang on to the position. No, he can't. He's gone a bit loose on that inside curb, and I tell you what, Morgan has then put 2 wheels onto the gravel. That slowed him down, and they don't want to be slowing them down too much, because that is Simon Bishop. He is not far behind at all, and he's got Silver pulling him along. Morgan still trying to get his way past Sheepers. He's looking for the outside line. He's not going to have the run here. Is he going for the mighty cutback? Nope, not close enough for that one. And all that's doing is bringing Silver and Bishop into this battle. So the battle between Morgan and Bishop that we thought we were going to see for the podium, we're now going to see play out through 7. Oh, that was some extra steering input there from Morgan, Isaac.
That is a brown pants moment if I've ever seen one. That car was loose, and I saw it going into that outside wall for all money. So he's done a brilliant job to catch it and not lose mostly a position from that, because Max Silver is right in behind him. Oh, another correction there on the exit. This car is sliding all over the place, so he's pushing this car to the absolute limits, and it tells me the pressures have come right up on this car sitting in behind the Ferrari. He is very loose at the moment. You can see from this beautiful in-car cam shot that we've got, just the steering wheel, the minor adjustments he's having to make mid-corner. Look at that, the snap of oversteer this car is having at the moment. And look at the slide through turn 7 on the run down towards turn 8. He is trying to wring every single bit out of this car that he possibly can, and it's making it very difficult for him to get past the car in front. Whoa, this is all going on at the moment. They're all within, you can throw a blanket over these 4 at the moment, and Simon Bishop, he just wants to get through this as clean as possible to make up positions, but that number 210 is all over the place. Sheepers still holding on to 6th place at the moment. And look at the Max Silver. He's sizing up a move up the inside into turn number 13. There's a bit of contact between the 2 cars. This is a free kick for Sheepers. He's going to get away here. Will Morgan holds on, and Dusty falls in behind. No, Max Silver slots in behind the very loose. You can see it getting loose again. This is still going on. This car is sliding all over the place, this Bentley. I do not know how he has not lost control yet. He's doing a brilliant job. Ranging up to the back now is the 75 car. On the 210, up the inside, into turn 1. Simon Bishop just watching on at the moment, waiting for his moment. Sweeps around the outside. Beautiful defensive move from Will Morgan. Simon Bishop looking up the inside of Max. Does get the move done there. So Max Silver will drop down behind Simon Bishop. That was a very intense couple of corners there.
It really was, yes. Silver just making a bit too much contact with the curb, unsettled the car a bit too much to get the overtake done, and unsettled it a bit too much to keep Simon the Machine Bishop behind him. Bishop now back up to 8th position, so it is quite the comeback charge for him. Dernetti is in the top 10, and he is closing up to this battle as well, so we may well still see a Dernetti Bishop Morgan battle before the end. That cannot be 18 minutes gone already. What? Someone please explain to me how time works. Because I thought when you're 47 years old, it turns out I'm being re-educated on the passage of time. Horvath with Sinclair and Sandwith battling away for honours in the Pro-Am class. They are 5th, 6th and 7th at the moment, but those positions could all change. The Porsche stuck in between the Ferrari and the Aston. I don't imagine that's too comfortable a spot for a Porsche driver around the track with this much banking and high speed sections. Let's keep an eye. I'll tell you what, let's give Machen some camera time out in the lead first. 2.5 seconds, so Matt Simmons is closing up on him. Oh, here we go. Tame looks to be the safest driver on grid at the moment. He has got a good 1.8 seconds back to Gordon, and Gordon's in the Pro-Ams. So Tame looking for a Pro podium and an overall podium at the minute. Excel as well in the top 5. That's a Pro and a Pro-Am. It's an
look down the grid. Will Morgan making a move. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I just saw that happening through turn 6, and it's all happening. Sheepers and Morgan were side by side, and that is Simon Bishop now ahead of Will Morgan as they come down towards turn 8. Sheepers is doing a really good job of just parking the car where it's so awkward for the car behind to try and get past. You can see the positioning he used through turn 8 on Simon Bishop meant that Simon just had to sort of see the position as they came through this 9, 10, 11 complex, and then as they run down towards turn 12, he's got the drive for Simon Bishop. He's going to look up the inside. Shepherd's is covering into turn 13. This is going well for Shepherd's at the moment. He's probably very nervous though. He's got a BMW and a Bentley filling his rearview mirror, and just look at the pack that's starting to form behind these guys. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, all within about a second of each other, and Anthony Burrows is not too far behind that either. So this is shaping up with 10 minutes to go. Where does the time go? Bishop has a look up the inside of Shepherd's into turn 1. Can he make that move stick? Not quite. Morgan now has a sneaky look at Simon Bishop. These guys are going... The gloves are off. The gloves are off. Gone.
Yes, they are, and I've just seen an absolutely incredible offer in the chat. Prevails, saying to Gordon, if you get on a podium, I'll buy you a direct drive. Oh, never mind the house.
That is an offer.
I'll have one of those, please. I mean, I've already got one, but yeah, no, direct drive wheel for Gordon. If he gets on the podium, the team radios will be absolutely alive imparting that information, and I'm definitely cheering Gordon on. Any equipment upgrade, I'm sure he'll be gratefully received. Shepherds once again go defensive as Bishop tries to pop it round the outside. And when I say tries, my apologies. Bishop pops it round the outside. No quarter given the last, and the Bentley's going to try and follow through as well. Shepherds didn't quite position the car for the double defence, and the Bentley is going to think about making a move. But here comes Dernetti. I did say Bishop, Morgan and Dernetti were going to get themselves a battle, and here comes Matt Dernetti making sure that that prophecy comes through. Thank you for making me look like a genius. Oh, there's a bit double contact, triple contact. He's been spun. Morgan has been completely spun. Dernetti sails on through, and that is on. He's trying to right the car and taking another contact here. Oh, Morgan, the debut of dreams, and it's now turning into an absolute nightmare for him after that comeback drive. Took contact himself in turn 1 on the comeback. Now finds himself tumbling down the order. I'm just going to wait on board and see where he now is. A few cars went past 13th position. He's got 8 minutes left. Where does that go? Shepherd's now in 11th. It is Silver, Dernetti and Bishop all comfortably in the top 10. We've got 1.7 seconds separating Bishop and Dernetti at the moment. And not only that, since we last checked in, the gap between the top 2 has halved. Simmons has absolutely got the bit between the teeth, as we do gratuitously get to listen to the mighty Mercedes engine make its way through the infield section out onto the outer banking. Sorry, Matt Simmons now got a 1.4 second deficit to make up. We're going to jump back on board. Oh, I love the sound of that engine bouncing off the wall. Crawley is where we're going to jump on board with for the moment, because he is looking very quick behind Burrows. Morgan down in 13th position. Absolute heartbreak from him. Porsche GT up to 16th place ahead of Twinning and King, so good result for him at the moment. We've also got Boyd in 21st. Neem, after that big miss of the brakes, has retired to the pit, so he is a few laps down, but it's all still going off out on track. Dernetti now within a second of Bishop. Here we go. Dernetti and Bishop battling for 6th position. A statement I thought I would never make. But the Aston is pulling up on the BMW once again. We'll see what these two can do in race number 1, and they're going straight back at it in race number 2 with 6 minutes left to grab those all important points before the trucks move on to Imola. Oh, that is going to be an absolute race if this is anything. Oh, Dernetti.
Oh, that's a power slide.
He's gone full Fast and the Furious there, Isaac. That is an incredible save by Dernetti, and just shows how much he's pushing to get the move done on Bishop.
Yeah, absolutely. Cue the Tokyo Drift music. That is, he's throwing that car around just trying to get the move done on Bishop. That's a car going slowly. I believe that is Ian Stewart getting out of the way of these guys that are lapping him at the moment. But Mazzanetti, he's desperate to get past Simon Bishop. He wants to get one up on the incumbent champ of AGT. This should be enough for Simon Bishop today to wrap up the championship, but obviously that'll be celebrated next time out at Imola when we know for sure. But he's doing a really good job at the moment, these two. They were right down the order at the start of this race, and they've come back through the field, as we knew they would, really. And it's 3.5 seconds is the gap to AusXL. If they can lap as fast as they have been, I'd say with 5 minutes to go, they'll probably range up to the back of him with the opportunity to make a move. 1.5 seconds at the moment is the gap for the lead of this race. Morgan's still 13th, trying to find his way up the field. Massive power slide through the final corner for him as well. That car is still all over the place. There's a lot of cars that I think are starting to struggle with tyre wear. It's very hot, 35-degree track temperature. Crawley is Nick Carter for company in behind him, and Anthony Burrows for company in front of him. He's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment, but he's got pace. Nick Carter does behind him as well. He's on the charge, remember, from that turn 1 contact early in the race. So he's looking to make up positions, and here we go, looking at the rear end, a brilliant cover, but that's going to escort Burrows wide. He had to carry more speed than he would have liked, compromised his race line through turn 6 and in through turn 7. This is a good run from Crawley as they run down the front, or the back straight, towards turn 8 to the outside, deep on the brakes. Nick Carter also having a look there, almost 3 wide for a second there. I thought we were going to get a little bit of contact between Crawley and between Burrows, but I think that is job done. Burrows dropped down behind both of them. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there. We may have to look at that. I think the stewards are going to have their work cut out for them after this race.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say the stewards' pencils will have to be fully sharpened after this one. It's been an action and incident-packed race, and we've still got more to come with less than 4 minutes to go. Bishop and Dernetti, both podium protagonists, both in line to win their respective championships, and it looks like the Aston is going to think about a move up the inside into turn number 1. He is indeed. He's got his front wheel along with the back wheel. Oh, and they've made contact on the turning. Both of them completely facing the wrong way there, and Dernetti is just trying to reverse off the track and collect for himself a Ferrari, which now runs off track as well. It's all gone the way of the pair in the closing few laps. No mistakes for XL Gordon. It looks like that direct drive wheel could well and truly be out of the window. Let's see what Morgan can do in the Bentley in the closing couple of laps. He's got Shepherd's in the Ferrari just ahead of him. I don't think Carter and Crawley, oh no, they are that close. Oh, Dernetti, oh yeah, of course Dernetti's dropping down the order after that contact. We're just waiting on him to settle into his position. He's back behind Morgan. Yeah, I do believe, yep, so that is him confirmed then. Dernetti down into 13th, more importantly 4th place in the Pro-Ams. So yeah, his championship party is definitely going to be put on hold. A lot of drivers within half a second of one another. Machin has steadied the ship. He's still holding the fastest lap. Simmons, he's now fending him off. He's keeping that gap at 1.5 seconds. That's the last couple of laps now. It's been at that. It was closing in Simmons' favour. Machin not fancy giving up the lead, so he's got the foot back down. Reminding everyone that he is the fastest driver on track at the moment. And is maintaining a 1.5 second gap. XL now all over the back of Gordon. Gordon again, a driver that won't be doing anything too crazy here. Neither will XL, to be fair. They're both leading their splits. And for Gordon to finish ahead of Dernetti at the top of the Pro-Ams, that's quite the feather in the cap, it has to be said. Because we've seen what Dernetti can do so far. Morgan still behind Shepherd's. And we've got a car. Oh, and that's a Ferrari off track. Is that Sandwith? No, it's not Sandwith coming through. That's one of the blue flags just getting out of the way. I think we did just see a car. Yeah, Sinclair just making his way out of the pits, I believe that was. So that's going to put him down on the drivers ahead. So a bit of damage having to be repaired there. Morgan still all over the back of Shepherd's, and XL still on the back of Gordon, and Machin now stretching that gap. He's got up to 1.9 seconds. So he's taken.
Yep, he's pulling away.
Yep, he really is. In the close. Oh, and there we go. Morgan around the outside of Shepherd's. We've seen so many overtake attempts in this corner. He is definitely going to be carrying a bit of damage. And it's safe to say that that Bentley is on what we like to refer to as an esports setup, i.e. it's like it's on ice. Oh wow, that is a big mistake by Shepherd's here. Well, I say a big mistake. In the grand scheme of things, it was a minor error, but that is more than enough to invite a driver like Morgan into the overtaking fray. And Silver, he might be in the back brace, but he is certainly in the slipstream. Is he going to sneak a double overtake on what is the final lap? There's only 22 seconds of this race gone. 22 seconds of this race left. How does that even happen? I think this is the final lap for the race leader. And he's now got a 2.1 second gap over Simmons. He really has managed this gap up at the front, and he is now stretching it out in the closing stages. XL still looking for the overtake. Morgan still trying to get his way past Shepherd's. He's sandwiched between the Ferraris. The game is determined to get me to hit the drive button and ruin the camera work, but I'm on to you, ACC. I'm watching. Morgan, Silver and Dernetti is right on the back of this. Is he going to get himself a couple of last lap overtakes? Let's make sure we actually see the winner crossing the line this time. He had a tough race to say the least.
First AGT win for Machin when he crosses the line. So his first win in the AGT series.
Wow. Well, there you go. And I tell you what, I bet you that wasn't what he, if you asked him after race 1 how he thought race 2 was going to go, I'd imagine he'd have thrown the microphone in your face and walked away. But Machin pulls up to the wall in the Mustang. He will see the checkered flag. A great race from him. Race win at AGT and takes the fastest lap as well. Simmons bringing home second place, and it is Tame who's going to round out the podium Phenomenal drive. Cars bouncing off the walls as you would expect. Gordon and Excel going for it out with the last corner. But they will take the class win. So congratulations to Gordon and Excel. Bishop on a recovery drive. Kept his nodes clean after that big contact in turn number 1 to finish in 6th place, which is 4th. In the pros. Carter in 5th, Crawley 2nd in the Pro-Ams, Burrows 6th in the pros, Shepherd's 7th, Morgan finishing in 8th, and it's Silver in 3rd in the Pro-Ams ahead of Dernetti, Sandwith and Horvath. Then it is more of our AM drivers. Twinning takes a checkered flag, and he is going to be on the podium. So phenomenal drive, 16th place and a podium for the AM driver, with King in 3rd, Thomas down in 18th overall with Porsche GT just off the podium, but a good drive nonetheless.
Now, just got to jump in there and say for Twinning as well, who finished in 16th, he's finished ahead of Porsche GT in both these races. And that is crucial because he was only 61 points behind Porsche GT in the championship for the AMs coming into this weekend. And he's beat him in both races. So he's done the job he needed to do to set himself up for that final race in Imola. So that is absolutely huge for Twinning, and definitely worthwhile a shout out there, because yeah, he's had a job to do coming into this race today, and he's certainly done it. It has been a brilliant race to watch. There's been a lot happening in this second race. We thought race 1 was action-packed and there was so much happening. There was a lot happening in this race. I think we're going to need a whole couple weeks to process what just happened. But I'll hand it over to you, John. Let's have a look at what the race results ended up as.
Indeed, yeah. It's going to take more than a couple of weeks to process this one. Machin, fastest lap, first to the checkered flag after an incident-strewn race. He finishes a second and a half ahead of Simmons, with Tame rounding out the podium. Then it is the Pro-Am and the AM winners, Gordon and XL. Top 5 for both drivers. For me, instantly puts both of them in the conversation for driver of the day. Bishop, I've done it again. My apologies. I do love the UI on ACC on console. Did I mention that? Please fix it, Kunos. These drivers deserve so much more. But yeah, Bishop in 6th place, Carter in 7th overall, Crawley, Burrows in the top 10 with Shepherds, the lead Ferrari in 10th place, ahead of race 1 winner Morgan. Silver finishing in 12th place, ahead of Dernetti, finishing in 13th overall. That puts him 4th in the Pro-Ams. 5th in the Pro-Ams was Sandwith, with 6th being Horvath, ahead of Twinning, who's 2nd in the AMs. King on the podium for the AMs as well. Thomas down in 18th. Porsche GT 4th in the AMs. 5th is Boyd. Griffin finishing 7th in the Pro-Ams. Stewart finishing 5th in the AMs. Takax did manage to finish that race as well. And yeah, incredible racing all round. And you have to say, Isaac, the action absolutely coming thick and fast there. And a lot of the drivers, huge credit to those that did finish on the podium in the respective splits after everything that went on. That was an almighty battle right the way through. And that turn 1, it brought us some serious action in both races here at Indianapolis tonight.
Yeah, turn 1 at Indy, turn 1 this season in general, just never fails to let us down. It never ceases to amaze me what that corner can do in terms of providing action. There was, even not on lap 1, just in general, there was plenty of moves going on, plenty of deep dives into that corner and into throughout the track, really. I'm still trying to process in my brain what exactly has just happened, because that was absolute chaos. But it just goes to show that keeping it clean, staying out of trouble early on, can pay dividends later on. Both Simmons and Machin managed to make it through turn 1 unscathed after that incident, and they went on to win the race. First and second. So those guys did well to stay out of trouble, and it certainly can pay off later on for you. So Machin, he's had 2 up and down races. It's been a tale of two races for a lot of these drivers today. Bishop, Will Morgan and Zanetti had great races in race 1, and then race 2 wasn't so great. James Machin, not so great race 1, absolutely brilliant race 2. Matt Simmons, just brilliant racing all round, really. He he had it was a pretty quiet day for Matt Simmons actually, but I'm pretty sure he had a fourth and a second. So he flew under the radar, but he did a great job.
Yeah, quite a few of the drivers just getting the head down on recovery drives. A few of the drivers taking the bull by the horns and bringing home those race wins. AGT and any track never fails to deliver in Indianapolis. Certainly serving up a cracker once again. Full results, of course, available in the Discord group. Make sure you get over there and get signed up. Season 2 is on the way. It has been announced. What a track calendar it is. It is going to be an absolute world day. So make sure you get over to the Discord and get signed up. All of the action, of course, will be brought to you by TrackSpot.TV. Isaac and the gang will be doing some more world-day level commentary for the action, and it needs to be, considering it is world-level drivers that we've got out on track. The next time out, it is Imola. Aqua Minerale is calling the drivers. Never mind turn 1. Let's see how they get on through there. That is going to be an absolute barn burner. So make sure you do tune in for that. The best way to do that, of course, is to hit the follow button on the TrackSpotTV Twitch channel if you're watching on there, and of course a thumbs up and a subscribe on the AGT YouTube channel as well. Thank you to everyone that's been in the chat for both of them. Smashing Apex with the chaos. It looks like Gordon won't be getting himself a direct drive wheel. You never know. Next time out though, we will see what happens, and that next time, as I say, will be at Imola, and that is on the 11th of April. So make sure you have your calendars set for that. I will be back bringing you all of the action, and it will be a Mr. Isaac Fogarty joining me for the season finale, and for that I am eternally grateful, even at this time of the morning. It will definitely waken you up, that is for sure. That's all we've got time for this evening, though. Isaac, it's been another absolute cracker of a race, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you beside me in the commentary box. Thank you very much for your efforts. AGT just going from strength to strength, race to race.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to work alongside you. You're excellent at what you do, and these guys are excellent at what they do, which means that it's just a lovely, cohesive relationship. Once they get on track and you get behind the microphone, it's brilliant to watch, and I'm just grateful to be along for the ride. Yes, I am going to blow smoke for you because I think you deserve it, but it's been great. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for watching at home and for listening to us dribble on as we do when we talk about these guys going around in circles.
Yep, it's just one big fanboy association here at the moment. So, but yeah, thank you to the organisers, AGT. And again, well done. We had a bit of a server issue today. Quick, clean, concise fixing of that to bring us the racing action. And of course, we will be back for Imola next week. Thanks to everyone that's been in the chat as well, and thank you wholeheartedly to the drivers for the show that you put on. Absolutely makes it worth getting out of bed this time of the morning to cover this action. And again, Imola next time out, 11th of April. Well, that is all we've got time for this evening. Do everyone enjoy the rest of your day or evening, and we will see you all again on the 11th. And with that, it is a good night from Isaac.
Bye, everybody.
And it is a good night from me. Till next time, stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.